Welcome back to Chamber Exchange's TV show. I am Kate Lebelzik, the Marketing and Communications Vice President for the Worcester Regional Chamber of Commerce. We'd like to thank our first guest, Steve Lettery, for being with us today from Cinch IT. And right now we have Ted Goulet and Tom Hansen from Cruise Planners, who are going to talk about vacation planning coming up in 23 and 24. So welcome, Ted and Tom.
Thank you. Thank you for having us back.
Thank you so much for being here. So let's start off for our viewers. Let's talk about why it is so important to have a travel planner.
Oh my goodness, where do you start with something like that? So most travel agents or travel agencies do not charge a fee for their services. I think that most people like going to a professional to have their taxes done. If they get in trouble with the law or closing on a house, they go to see a lawyer. And most people, I think, want to have a travel professional on their side, or at least they should be thinking of that. And I will say this, I just wrote to a friend this morning explaining how these past 10 or 12 days were probably the most trying and stressful in my life as a travel agent over the course of the past 10 years, just with changes that happen at the last minute as people are traveling. Right, and this year, I'm sure people have seen it in the news, air travel is just at times horrendous, and there's issues, and there's nothing like being stuck, oh, I'm on my way to my connecting flight that I'm going to miss my first day or 2 or 3 of travel. Right. Help me.
Yeah.
And sometimes people are stuck, and it's good to have an advocate on your side. You can plan the perfect trip, and something happens, and it's good to have somebody working behind the scenes to help when you get to your destination to be able to continue on.
Right, right.
And those are the types, I mean, and I use that only because it's still fresh in my mind. That we've had numerous people all over the globe where they've had issues relating to air travel and missing the next leg, and we were able to help them.
It just happened in
Hawaii.
Oh, really?
Italy,
Yeah.
France.
10-year anniversary, they've been waiting to go to Hawaii for 10 years. They finally did it, and they're on one of the islands, Molokai. And their flight was changed, never were notified. We were never notified. It went from 10 a.m. to 6 a.m.
But it was a 4-hour earlier departure.
So they arrived at the airport and they said, we can't help you, there's no more flights.
There's no more flights, we have one flight a day.
And they're supposed to be on their way over to Maui, which is only a 45-minute
For 2 days.
They said you're on your own.
So what happens then? So they call you from the airport,
panic.
freaking out, right? And you guys are like, we're going to take care of it for you.
Well,
we
and
so what did you do?
We both got on the horn, the phone, you know, and I reached out to our supplier. Ted reached out to the airlines just to see what was happening, and we knew that we needed to get a room for them because there was no other flights leaving that day. Nobody, nothing. So he got on and started calling around to
secured
different
car
hotels.
rental, a hotel for them. There's only four hotels on this particular island. It's one of the smaller ones in the chain. And so we got a hotel, we got the car, and we were working with our clients who were at the airline desk. That was telling them you can't leave for 2 days.
Right.
But it's like, well, let's think outside of the box. Maybe fly back to Honolulu, catch a flight there because there's flights every half hour going to all of the islands. So that's what we ended up doing. They get out the next morning and she called us sipping a cocktail on our sunset cruise the following night, and it all worked out.
They were nervous. We knew that. You could hear it in their voice. And so the wife, you know, we ended up calling, Ted ended up speaking to the front desk at the new hotel. We explained the situation. They said, we'll take care of it. What's Mike's number? So we gave them the husband's number, and they just walked them through it and said, hey, just follow this road. Because it's such a remote area, you know, and so it just made ease. Next day, everybody's like, whew, and we're like, okay, now it's time for us to have a drink.
I mean, I just think it's, you know, so important because I know we've all been in those situations where we're at the airport or we're at the hotel and we find out that something's changed, and to have not just one but 2 people get on the horn to fix it for you, like you know, like genies, and then you don't have to worry about it. That's just so important. It's like invaluable to have people on the other side when you're I mean, you know how much work goes into vacations and planning and how much money goes into it, and if you miss even an hour, that could, you know, it could really throw everything.
It really can, and, you know, and I'll go back to it, and I hate to talk talk about terrible things that happen, but
no, it's okay because you fix the terrible things.
The things that we had a family of 7, well, 2 families, 7 in the party traveling to Italy for a trip they've been planning for years, and lo and behold, you know, the moment that they were traveling to the airport, I have a 3-hour delay. Not so bad in the overall scheme. We've all had those, but it had a ripple effect because they were connecting through one of the European cities that I won't mention. I don't want to disparage them. They've had a lot of issues this year, but they were connecting through, and now they were missing their arrival. So now again, tours got canceled because they're no showing. We had to rearrange the transfers to make sure that somebody's there in Venice, because it's not necessarily easy to get around Venice from the airports to the hotels. For 7 people, so you know, and rearrange, hey, they're going to arrive, as it turns out, 8 hours later. Now we're into the evening, and it's the last minute, which things like that are difficult to do from any perspective. So you know, rearranging. Let's move this tour to Monday. See what we can do. You're not going to miss it. Just relax.
Yeah. I think it's probably almost better for the suppliers too, or the people at the hotels to have you as intermediaries, because I know there's probably a lot of emotions on the other end.
Absolutely.
You know, and just to have you guys be like, this is what's happening.
Our job just never stops.
Yeah.
You know, we're with you 24/7.
When you're traveling.
For instance, with the Italy issue that we had, we were on vacation ourselves.
Oh.
So we stopped what we did, just to help out, because we knew how important that was, because that was just the first day of their remaining time in their vacation, and we wanted that experience to say, hey, it's gone. Now you're going to open up and have a great time.
Yeah.
But that's how we are. That's what it's about, having a travel agent.
Right.
That has your back, that's with you 24/7.
Well, and those people will keep coming back to you.
Absolutely.
Whether it's Italy or whether it's Disney World, they're gonna,
That's
so it's
that's
so
the
important.
reason that we ended up getting into this business.
Why did you get into the business?
Because we had an issue with, we were on vacation with our oldest daughter. She wanted to go away to an island with her friends on graduation, so we said, yeah, great, no worries. And at the time we had booked, it's like, yeah, we can do this because we plan travel, and our travel agent retired when the internet started, and there was not going to be any more travel agents.
You're dating yourself.
It's only 20 years ago. It's like, it's the end of the world.
When we got computers.
But fortunately, it didn't happen. But we were away. We arrived, and it wasn't what we thought it would be when we booked through that online travel agency, and we had to handle it ourselves at that time. And it's like, my God, people should not have to go through this because it can be stressful, and it can be heartbreaking if you're planning on a trip for a long time.
Yeah.
So I forgot where I was going with that.
How you got into
that's how we ended up getting.
So we could do this and
got into the business.
Get the perks.
We don't want people to have to go through that on their own. So that's why we do it, so that people don't have to deal with all of that behind the scenes. But the best part for me, the rewarding part, obviously we make a living at this, but the family that just got back, they emailed us, and the testimonial that they wrote, it was just, for me, it's uplifting. It's like, oh my God, this was the best trip ever. And we couldn't have planned it without you, and thank God you took the stress away from us, and we knew you were working on this on our 6-hour flight to Europe, that when we got there, everything was good. And it just made for a wonderful trip, and you planned everything perfectly because everything ran like clockwork. Once you're there, it's great. If we can get around those airlines, we're good.
No, but that's huge. I mean, you think like they're getting on it, especially for moms. You're getting on the flight, 6-hour flight, and most of the time you're like, I'm sitting here for 6 hours just ruminating on how I need to fix this in 6 hours when I land. But to have you two back home, figuring it all out. I mean, it's huge. It's such a gift to have. You do that.
It makes it very rewarding on the back end. It's as stressful as it is. You can see I have a full head of hair here, but as stressful as it is a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, that's good. Where do you see, with travel trends? Where do you see, people heading in 2024? What are you seeing? What's being booked right now?
Europe. Yeah, Europe has just exploded. It's amazing. It really has. And, such as Italy, Greece, France, Paris, especially Paris, and next year.
And the UK.
Forget about Paris, because let me tell you, everything's practically booked, only because you have the Summer Olympics that are happening. And it's the 80th anniversary of D-Day.
Oh, so France is,
okay. It is like out of control.
Yeah.
So stay away from.
Don't stay away.
What month is that?
Well, reach out to us for Paris.
We have the inside scoop. When is that?
So the Summer Olympics are in July and August, and it's followed. The Summer Olympics are followed by the Paralympics.
Right.
D-Day, of course, they'll be celebrating in May, and June 6th is the day. June 4th. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. All the vets.
So France is going to be jam-packed. So we have a few more minutes. I want to talk about your upcoming trip that you're planning and that you still have room on board for, to the Rhine River.
The river cruise, yes. If you've never done it, it's great. If you have done it, and it's always fun to go back. We've sailed the Rhine a couple of times, and are looking forward to going back again. See some cities that we haven't seen previously. For anyone that's never river cruised, it's a wonderful experience. It's kind of like you're floating 4 or 5-star hotel. So you can unpack once, and you just float from city to city. It's like arriving in country to country, city to city.
With beautiful surroundings.
It's like pulling up on the Charles River, and get off and just you're in the middle.
It's a little nicer probably than the Charles.
Switzerland. It is a little
no
nicer.
No offense, Boston.
Yes. But just pulling up to a dock and just walking out, and you're right in the middle of the city.
The culture.
And the culture.
Basel to Amsterdam.
Basel, Switzerland. Yeah. My brother just got back from Amsterdam. He absolutely loved it.
Oh, one of my
he
favorites.
said he wants to keep going back as like his yearly thing.
It's an amazing city.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So if people want to get in touch with you, how do they contact you?
There's a few ways. They can check us out online at tntguystravel.com. TNT Guys Travel, or they can call us at 774-261-8160. Find us on Facebook, TNT Guys. Follow us there. See us on Instagram. Just remember, TNT Guys Travel.
TNT Guys Travel. Well, guys, thank you so much for being here. We do have a little sneak peek. They are planning our chamber trip to Ireland in June 2024. So a lot of information will be coming up with that. Everyone's invited. So we will have information on that soon. We'd like to thank our guests, Ted and Tom and Steve. And thank you to our sponsor, Bank Hometown. We'll see you next week.